Okay, then it is here, right? Okay, I got it. Okay.
Oh, I did not realize I was on mute. Thank you, Swadhyaya Yoga. Now, when was the last time anybody heard anything from me?
I haven't heard anything. I
Oh,
thought you were
I've
on
been
mute.
talking for the last few minutes to myself. Okay, let me start all over again. Okay, so what I was saying is, just like the Christians have analyzed the Bible million times and brought everything together. The folks in ISKCON are also trying to understand and dissect the Bhagavad Gita across multiple angles, and this is what is being said, right? So if you want to know about anger, then you go into chapter 2. If you are talking about fear, then you go to chapter 4. Lust, chapter 3 and 5 and 16. How to practice forgiveness, how to think in terms of pride or eliminating pride, how to understand forgetfulness or greed or laziness. So this, I just put it in the chat window for this class, the 4:45 batch, and I will send it to the people who were in the 4 o'clock batch who got combined with this batch separately, because you are on a different WhatsApp group altogether. So I will do that. So any questions on this one? Okay, with that, let's dive into Bhagavad Gita. This is a beautiful Jaipur painting. Was there a question?
Yes, sorry. This is Avanti. Is there similar timeline about when we'll be covering each chapter?
We will go according to the speed of the audience, right? So last time I went through chapter 1 rather quickly because that is really the context. And today I will start chapter 2, but then I'm giving context for chapter 2 right now.
Thank you.
So did you have anything in mind? Like, should we finish a chapter in a month or in 2 months? Did you have any kind of opinion on that one?
No, I just wanted to know, for instance, for chapter 2, I just wanted to know how long each is going to take so I can plan my reading along with it.
Yeah. So chapter 2, you can plan for like 5 shlokas every week. And then sometimes, depending upon the questions, you may spend more time um, per shloka. So we might be set back. And sometimes if it is a small commentary purport, then we will move faster. So there is no one size fits all, but roughly 5 per week is what I've seen that works.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. And then here is a lot of beautiful paintings on the internet about Lord Krishna addressing Arjuna. So I just wanted to kind of give you that context. Krishna is giving some knowledge here. And then this morning I gave a class It's a North American Bhagavad Gita study session where we have covered this particular slide. We'll come to all of this. This is from chapter 2. And then I'm always enamored by the artistic capability of people. Look at how beautifully they made Krishna in more the South American style. And Arjuna also in a different style rather than an Indian style. So different people think of Krishna differently, and then they apply their artistic prowess to this. Okay, so with that said, yeah, somebody asked me this question this morning. How do I do this thing, right? Just like anything else in life, first you will say, I won't do it, right? I won't do devotional life. Somebody may say, I can't do it. Somebody may say, I want to do it. Then they ask the question, how do I do it? Okay, let me try. And then they'll say, yes, I can do it. Then confidence, I will do it. And finally, euphoria, yes, I did it, right? So we need to be confident that we can do it and gradually work ourselves up the ladder. Okay, so now I will jump into chapter 2 from verse 1. So if you want me to slow down, let me know, right? Not everybody can understand or assimilate at the same speed. Different people have different perspectives. Some people want every line item to be discussed. Some people, once they get the context, they can do self-reading. So, I want to address everybody's individual requirements and needs. Okay, so the way we will go through this is, I will recite the shloka, you repeat the shloka. This is how our sages taught us, right? And this is how schools in India also used to be a long time ago. So it is all by oral tradition. But let's see how it goes, okay? So repeat after me. Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya Uvacha
Tam Tata Kripavistam
Tam
Tam
Tatra
tatha kripayavistam
Ashru Purna Kulesha Kule.
ashru purna kuleshanam.
If you have kids in the background, please go on mute. Otherwise, you can join along in the chanting. You can still join along in the chanting so that you don't disturb other people. Dantam idham vakyam
Siddhantam idam vakyam
uvacha madhusudanaha.
Vasudhanam.
So let me talk about these diacritics. These little thingies at the top and the bottom are called diacritics. Okay. So whenever there is this little tilde sign on N, you emphasize the N. Sanjaya Uvacha, like that. And whenever there is a dash on the top, instead of it becomes just like when we were in kindergarten, e, right? So this is the And then whenever you have an M, you raise the voice.
Sanjaya.
Yeah, hold on just a minute. So whenever you have a dot on top of the M, you raise the voice. Whenever there is a dot at the bottom, you drop the voice. So it's like tam tata kripaya vistam. So sa ta sta is dropped because there are two dots at the bottom, right? And then ashru. It is not asru. Why? Because there is a little diacritic on the top. So it becomes ashru. Nayanam ghaladashru dharaya, like that. Ashru. Sh instead of sa. Okay. And then remember So this is not it is So it is purna. Because there is a and there is the matra on the top. So it is purna. Kulekshanam. Right? So this sha is different than this sha. This ashru is kulekshanam. So this is shortened form of that, and you drop the voice and you'll get practice. Sanskrit is a wonderful language. Like University of Washington, they are developing new kind of compilers based on Sanskrit, and the compiler code is much shorter. That's what they claim, because Sanskrit is a very compact language, very powerful language, but at the same time it is very compact in that you don't have to worry so much about how things are individually phrased. Right? So that's me. I just switched on my video. Hold on just a minute. I'm just trying to fix one of my cables here. Back. So now you know how this individual structure works. Get the point? So now Vishidantam. So this is not separate. Sa and E are not individual. You say Vishidantam. This is one word, literally. Okay. This is a poor man's way of learning Sanskrit, right? If you know the Sanskrit, this is very different, right? Tam tata kripaya vishtam. Yeah. So the sha and the ta are together. So it's ta. Kripaya vishtam. Shrupurna kulekshanam. You see this? So in English, it is very difficult to say but in Sanskrit or Hindi, it is very easy to say. So it is lekshanam. So after the ma, it is So there is a little bit of resonance at the end, right? So Sanskrit, this is poor man's way of learning Sanskrit. This is the real Sanskrit. But regardless, we will learn it together. Okay. So let's try it one more time. Sanjaya uvacha.
Sanjaya
Sanjaya
Uvacha
Uvacha
Tam tata kripaya vishtam
Tam
Tam
Tatha
Tata
Vaya
Kripaya Vishtam
ashru purna kulekshanam
Ashru Purna Kulekshanam
vishidantam idam vakyam
Ishidantam Itam
Idam
Vyakyam
Vakyam
uvacha madhusudanaha.
Uvacha Madhusudana.
If in Sanskrit, you will see this a lot. After ma or na, you will see double dot, which means right? So madhusudanaha. Okay. Now, quiz question. How many words?
Repeat the question, Bhagara.
How many words is this line?
Siddhantam idam vakyam. Siddhantam idam vakyam. Siddhantam. 4.
Looking at the Sanskrit
No,
on
no,
your
no,
couch,
no.
probably 2.
Your clue is here. Your clue is here. Vishidantam idam. So this is one word. Vishidantam
One
idam.
word.
Right? So Sanskrit is very different. Sanskrit, can you please go on mute? I can hear a lot of static in the. Can you go on mute, please? Yeah, thank you. So Vishidantam idam is one word. In English, there are two words. The same thing is learnt in German also, right? In German, I lived in Germany, so German words, right? They are very, very long words. Let me see if I can get something, right? Yeah, for example, Gemult Licht Kite. So a newcomer will say kite separately, Licht separately, and Gemult separately. But it is Gemult Licht Kite, one word, Kopfkino, right? Essentially, they are sandhi of two words, Kopf and Kino. Same thing, Gemult is one word, Lich, just like Liechtenstein. In Austria, there is a town called Liechtenstein, and kite. You see that? So these three words are not three words. A newcomer will think they are three words, but they are just one word. And how are they made? From small words. Like large is gross, small is klein, hot is heiß, cold is kalt, good is gut, like that, right? But then when you add into sentences, you say gut, gross, klein. So something which is simultaneously good, big and small, like that. So they do the sandhi like that. Similarly, in the Sanskrit language, this is just one word. Sometimes this whole line is one word. You know that? Ashru Purna Kulekshanam. How do I know this? Let me go to here. Ashru Purna Kulekshanam. This whole thing is one word. That's it. And believe it or not only this whole thing is one word, even this previous word and this whole thing is just one word. So in Sanskrit, how do you say? Kripaya Vishtam Ashru Purna Kulekshanam. And when we talk to Westerners, they go crazy when we say that this whole thing is just one word. Kripaya Vishtam Anushru Purna Kulekshanam. The whole thing is one word. Can you believe it? That is Sanskrit. So what is this? Kripaya means kindly. Vishtama, right? So about a particular topic. Ashru means the emotional feelings. Ashru means drops of water coming from your eyes, but it also means emotional feelings. Purna means complete, right? Kulekshanam, like there are meanings here. So Ashru Purna Akula means full of tears. Ikshanam means eyes. So tears are coming from his eyes due to emotion. So this whole thing, believe it or not, is just one word. That is Sanskrit, right? So you can say an entire story in one line in Sanskrit. It is not there here, but there are some Sanskrit texts where you can tell an entire story of somebody going to a store, buying something, coming back home, cooking, and eating in one word. Right? That is the magic of Sanskrit. And magic of German also, but German is a copycat of Sanskrit. Ultimately, there was only one language in the world 5,000 years ago, that was Sanskrit. Everybody in Europe, in Australia, in North America, South America, everybody was speaking Sanskrit, but as modified form, right? And then modern languages all came, like Latin, Greek, everything came from Sanskrit originally. Okay, so now let's dive in. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. So I need a volunteer to read the purport. First come, first served.
I can take up, Prabhuji.
Go ahead.
Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Sudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from. Okay, I lost it. Was not expected. Yeah, and his conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So one question. What is the role of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Answer choices. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Guru, friend of Arjuna. Which of the three answers is correct?
All of the above.
All of the above, but predominantly which one?
Supreme Personality.
Guru. Friend of Arjuna.
No. I mean, I heard all three answers. They're all good answers, but predominantly it is the role of a Guru. Right? So Krishna himself is considered the Adi Guru. He's the friend of Arjuna, no doubt.
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Yeah. He's the friend of Arjuna. That's why he's willing to become a chariot driver for Arjuna. Right? Would you become a limo driver for your friend? Highly unlikely. But here, Krishna has become a chariot driver for Arjuna. And he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is true. But here he is taking the role of a Guru. And what it is this particular chapter is an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul. That is why chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita is also called Sankhya Yoga. Every chapter in Bhagavad Gita is a form of yoga, right? First chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Vishada means lamentation or crying. Because in chapter 1, Krishna doesn't speak. Arjuna is only crying, oh my Krishna, I don't want to fight. I want to run away to forest. I don't want to kill all my brothers and sisters, because everybody else was brothers only, right? They were all like cousins essentially, but they're all brothers technically. So he says, I don't want to kill my grandfather, because Bhishma was there on the other side, great grandfather. I don't want to kill X. I don't want to kill Y. That the whole reason given in chapter 1 is I don't want to kill. He was being what's known as a pacifist, right? Pacifist means they don't want to fight. They want to kind of be extremely cooperative. But if you are extremely cooperative and Muslims are attacking India right, left, and center, then what's going to happen? You'll be run over. And that's what happened with India. People became pacifists under the Buddhist rule. When Krishna came 5,040 years ago, they were real Kshatriyas. But by the time 2,300 years ago, 2,500 years ago, when Buddhism was predominant in India, everybody became a pacifist. And they would just, anybody comes, okay, come. You want to steal, come and steal my homes. Like that. They became too nice, too soft. But Krishna's point is that one needs to fight for the sake of dharma. Right? If you're too soft, then you'll be run over. Simple. So this analytical study of material, body, and spirit, soul is called Sankhya Yoga. As I said, every chapter in Bhagavad Gita is yoga, and this particular chapter is Sankhya Yoga. So this realization is possible when one without attachment to the fruitive results. So what is fruitive? Something that bears fruit. You get the picture? Like when you go to office, work in Amazon or Microsoft or Boeing, you get a salary. So you are getting a fruit of your labor. So when we are attached to the fruit of the labor, that's it. We are stuck in the material world. So how do you live in the material world? You work, but you should not be attached. Very tricky. Very, very tricky. Right? You cannot sit idle. You cannot be lazy. You work, but at the same time, you should not be attached to the fruits of your results. Then somebody may ask, what do I do with the fruits of the results? You again surrender it back to God, which means you use it for God's functions, like that. And this was the lifestyle people had. Like the king used to run the country, and whenever there was a famine, king would provide free grains and all that. Not like the $1 trillion stimulus that we are doing right now. You know what happened to most of the stimulus? I was reading an article. People bought clothes and shoes with that. They never saved. And now they're waiting for the next round of stimulus. When you are in trouble, you don't blow the money away, right? You save it. But people didn't learn their lesson. So they blew it all up. And then again, they're saying, oh, our government needs to give stimulus again. So what we are becoming is like a socialist country right now. Always dependent on the government. From capitalism to socialism, a flip is happening right now in America. That's a little political angle to it. But essentially, when we do work and we expect fruit, you get the fruit. But then if you get attached to the fruit, then you'll stay in the material world. That's the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So any thoughts, questions before we go to next?
I have a question, Prabhuji. This is a bit orthogonal to the chapter itself. But my question is like when Bhagavan Krishna was telling Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, like was he the only one who heard it? And like since it was a battlefield, right? And there were so many people there. So like how was the setup?
Yeah. So the setup was, as I was showing in my PowerPoint presentation, the setup was where millions of people were there on the battlefield.
Yeah. But did they listen to it?
Yeah, let's open it up for discussion. Anybody thinks that everybody listened to the Bhagavad Gita?
No, Prabhuji.
No, I think it is
No.
being directed to Arjuna because he is the one who is asking the question.
And Krishna stopped the time.
So this is what I want to understand. Like, did this thing really happen? He stopped the time and no one was active at that point of time, then how come the Sanjaya listened to it? Because Sanjay was telling, Sanjay heard it, right?
Yeah. So according to the seniors that I learned from, everybody was listening, but they may not have understood it to the degree with which Arjuna understood. Arjuna was a skilled, not only in war, but also in Vedas. So when the Lord was speaking, Arjuna grasped it immediately. The whole thing took a little over 1.5 hours, the whole Bhagavad Gita, 700 shlokas, right? So Arjuna apparently grasped it, but others were not qualified to grasp it. It's not like they did not hear it. So whether the time was frozen or not, Bhagavad Gita doesn't mention that the time was frozen, right? Mahabharata also doesn't mention that the time was frozen. So people speculated that maybe the time was frozen, but apparently everybody heard it. Very few people understood it. Does that help?
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
got it.
Again, as we go through it, you will understand. Krishna says, Kalosmi, I am time. But he doesn't say that I froze the time so that only you can hear it. Okay? So let's go to 2.2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Kutastva Kashmalamidam
Kutastatvam Kasmalam Idham
Vishame Samapastitam
Vishame
Vishame samupastitam
Anarya Justam Asvargyam
Anarya
aryajustam asvargyam
Akirti Karam Arjuna.
akirtikaram arjuna.
Again, if you look at the Sanskritam, right, the whole thing, the last two lines are just one word. Look at this. This whole thing is just one word. Anarya Justam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Like that. The whole thing is just one continuous word. Very interesting. Okay, the Supreme Personality of God, it said, my dear Arjun, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Infamy means, what is infamy?
Opposite of fame.
Yeah, opposite of fame. Yeah. State of being known for very bad quality or deed. That is infamy. So here, Krishna has taken the role of a guru and he's saying, my dear Arjun, how have these impurities come upon you? You are supposed to be an Arya, a king, a Kshatriya. And you are speaking like a normal person, saying that, I don't want to fight, I want to run away. And Krishna says they are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. So Arya means somebody who knows the value of life. The Germans also stole the term Aryans, and they said that all Germans are Aryans and anybody who's not an Aryan should be killed. And that's how they ended up killing all of these, thousands of, or actually millions of Jews during Second World War. Right? Okay, I need a volunteer to read this.
Krishna and the Supreme Personality of God are identical. 1 second, Prabhu. Identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal, all-pervasive spirit, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this conception of the absolute truth is explained thus.
Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdyate.
The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature may be compared to those who has advanced still further can know.
Who can realize?
Who can realize only the Brahmin feature of the absolute truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma, feature of the absolute truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal features of the supreme absolute truth. Therefore, the Bhaktas are the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the absolute truth are the topmost transcendentalists, although all students who are engaged in the study of the absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter. The sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another. And yet, the students of the three different phases are not in the same category.
Okay, let's pause there for a moment. There's a lot of content in here. So this particular verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what does Srila Prabhupada do? The author of this translation is he references other books like Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shvetatsva, Tara Upanishad, Brihad Narayana Purana, like that. So he basically refers to a lot of these other texts. So let me orient you to some of these other texts. So I'm trying to look at my other monitor. Mind. Yeah. So if you look at this diagram, you will know how little we know in this world, right? To get knowledge, we should know how little knowledge we already have. So Vedic knowledge is divided into two branches. One is known as Shruti, second is known as Smriti. Right? The Shruti is divided into Vedas, Upavedas, Vedangas. So we have Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. And the supporting documentation is Samhitas, which has mantras, Brahmanas, ritual explanation of mantras, Aranyakas, which is the esoteric explanation of mantras. Esoteric means something that's the hidden meanings. Upanishads, which is the Jnana Kanda, philosophy of Brahman. So there are 108 Upanishads, right? There are many Samhitas. Then you have something called Vedangas. Under that, you have Kalpa, which deal with ritual details, Shiksha, which is pronunciation, Vyakarana, grammar, Nirukta, etymology. Etymology means how words are related to each other, Chandas, meters, right? So if you see Venkateshwara Suprabhatam in Tirupati is sung in one Chandas. And the shloka that we went through is sung in a different Chandas, for example. For example, in the Brahma Samhita, it says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So that is 1 meter, right? And then the second meter, the shloka that we'll come to very soon in second chapter. Karpanya dosha pahata swabhava prichami tvam dharma samudda chetaha. So as you can see, in the two different shlokas that I said, I use different meter, right? So the chandas is meter. Then you have Jyotish Shastra, which is the astronomy time calculation. So astrology comes from astronomy. So when somebody looks at your hand and gives you astrological prediction, they are looking at the time you were born, when Saturn was in a particular orbit, when Moon was in a particular orbit, and based on those planetary energy and pulls and pushes, your life is decided. And of course, your life is decided by your past karma, but you are put in the womb of your mother based on your past karma at that precise time, so that you'll be influenced by these various planetary influences. This is yet unknown to the Western scientists, right? In Western scientists, if somebody is already good, they will just push him up, right? They'll promote somebody who's already smart. But why is somebody smart and why is not somebody smart? That information is given in Jyotisha Shastra, which comes from astronomy, basically Vedic astronomy. Then Shruti means something that is heard. Smriti means something that is remembered, right? In the Smriti, we have ritual sutras connected to Kalpa Vedanta and Tantra spoken by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati. Pancharatras like Narada Muni. He says Narada Pancharatra, how to worship God, is given in the Narada Pancharatra. Again, this is all very advanced stuff. You will not get it all in the first shot. It took me many years to understand this diagram, but I'm attempting something here. Then we have itihas, right? In Hindi, itihas means history, right? So you have so many itihasas. Then sad darshana means the 6 darshanas. Like the entire Vedic culture is based on these 6 darshanas. One is called Vedanta by Vyasamuni, which is the metaphysics, theology of the Upanishads. Second is Mimamsa by Jaimini Rishi, which is called hermeneutics, which means how do you interpret a scriptural text. For example, you have departments in United States, universities, which offer a 1-year course in hermeneutics. How to actually interpret a text, right? It's a very scientific way. It is not for ordinary people. Then you have Nyaya by Gautama, which talks about epistemology. Epistemology means the science of knowing something. How do you know something is correct, right? How do you know what I'm saying is correct? So you have to refer to some texts, and those texts are the Vedas, like that, right? So epistemology gives the philosophy of knowledge. So what is the origin of knowledge? How do people understand knowledge, and what do you do with knowledge? Then you have Vaisheshika. This is by Kannada, another rishi. It is not Kannada like in language. This is Kannada. Kannada, a sage who propagated metaphysics, the philosophy of existence. So if you say, just like some of the Greek philosophers used to say, I think, therefore I am, right? Either Plato or Socrates, one of them made this statement. I think, therefore I am. So is thinking the reason that you exist? Or because you exist, you can think? It's the chicken or the egg philosophical debate. Unfortunately, most Indians are trained in technology these days, right? So you are valued for your C++, Java, .NET, Python knowledge, rather than knowledge of metaphysics, which is philosophy of existence. Who am I, right? We should ask that question. Who am I? What am I doing here? Why do I exist? Do I even exist? Right? Some people say you don't exist. It's just all an illusion, right? So then you have to go through this philosophical understanding and discussion. What does existence even mean? What does existence mean? You are hearing something through Zoom call. What is this voice? Is there a person on the other end of the voice? Right? Those are the kind of philosophical questions that are answered by Vaisheshika. Then you have Patanjali Yoga Sutras. This is, very commonly known, but uncommonly understood. Most people think yoga is just for physical energy, but yoga is less for physical energy and more for spiritual energy. The process of yoga means connecting the soul to super soul. That is yoga or yog, right? In Hindi, in English, they always put an A in the end, yoga. There's no yoga, there is yoga. And then you have Sankhya. There is an atheistic person known as Kapila. He put forward this Sankhya Yoga without the existence of God. So if you look at the total elements in creation, there are 24. The 25th element is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, there is an entire section devoted to Sankhya Yoga. Means the analytical study of the universe, what are its components, and how they all come together. This is way before Einstein and all those guys came up with their E is equal to mc square theories. So all these theories were there thousands and thousands of years ago. Even before Lord Krishna's time, they were all captured in Krishna's time on the planet Earth, right? He's always eternally existing in his spiritual world. But even before the 5,040 years of Krishna's being on this planet, this knowledge was there in the Vedas. Vedas are apaurusheya, means there is no origin. They came from the beginning of time when the Lord spoke in form of Hayagriva. So there's another story, another historical anecdote in the Srimad Bhagavatam about Hayagriva. So there is so much to learn, right? So much. So this is very important. God gives information in tamasic, in rajasic, and in sattvic. So this class is in the sattvic mode of goodness, right? We are hoping that you will use it for mode of goodness perspective. But people can use it for earning more money, or people can use it for their, nocturnal dealings, black magic. You can also use the Vedas for black magic, but then that's not a good use of Vedas, right? So that is tamasic. Tamasic means mode of ignorance. Rajasic means you're using Vedic knowledge to make more money and become famous. But that's not a good thing either, because Rajasic means it will pull you down eventually. Sattvic is the best thing because it will push you up. Sattvic pushes up, Rajasic pushes you down. And then there are 18 major Puranas and 18 Upa Puranas. So these 18 Puranas, again, there are 6 of them in the mode of goodness, Sattvic. 6 of them are in the mode of passion, Rajasic. 6 of them are in the mode of ignorance, Tamasic. That's a lot of knowledge. It will take an entire lifetime to understand all this. But Bhagavad Gita is like a cheat sheet. Yes, if there is examination tomorrow, you don't read this textbook, right? What do? You go to a smart classmate of yours, take his notes, make some Xerox, and then you read till 2 a.m. in the morning, go to the exam hall and pass the exam. That is what Bhagavad Gita is, right? It's a short way to reach God. So with that said, I will come back here. So Srimad Bhagavatam, as I was saying, in this overall scheme of things, gives you knowledge of God and God's devotees. Bhagavad Gita is just the word of God. It's just instructions. Boom, boom, boom. Do this, do this, do this, don't do this, don't do this. But Srimad Bhagavatam goes into gory detail of how. Bhagavad Gita is the what. Srimad Bhagavatam is the how. How to do this stuff, right? So in this, there are 3 phases. Truth can be expressed in Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan, right? So if you think about this, there are 3 different phases of understanding God, right? So can anybody tell me what was the example used in the purport for understanding these 3 things? What is the analogy?
Sun.
Huh?
Sunshine.
Yeah, sun. Yeah, sunshine is one of them. So Brahman is like sunshine. Paramatma is like what?
Surface of sun.
Surface of the sun.
Surface of the sun globe. Sun globe surface. And Bhagwan is like personality of sun. Did you know that sun is a person? Moon is a person? What you see is their bodily glow. That's all you are seeing. Actually, you are not even seeing their individual bodily glow. You are seeing the Lord's bodily glow coming from the spiritual world through sun and moon. So just like you have technology portals where you can go and do some self-service, sun and moon are portals from the spiritual world giving you information about the spiritual world, right? So people say, hey, can you show me God? Look at the sun. In 5 or 6 seconds, you will move your head away. Your eyes will start burning. So Krishna Koti Surya Saman, the Supreme Personality, bodily glow is like Koti, 1 crore suns. How can you see him? You'll be blinded. You cannot see God. God is to be heard. It means you hear God. You hear his glories. You hear his pastimes or leelas. God is not to be seen. Only foolish people will claim that, hey, show me, Bhagwan, dikhao mujhe. Show me God. How can you see God? You cannot even see a computer screen for 24 hours straight. You'll go crazy. Forget seeing God, right? So the analogy given is Bhagavan is the personality. Paramatma is just like the sun globe and sunshine. This is one more analogy that I would like to present, also from Swami Prabhupada. Brahman is like smoke from a steam engine coming from a distance. Right? When a train is coming from a distance, you only see smoke. You're not seeing the train again. So you will not know much about what that is. Paramatma is like train closer with various bogies. In India, we call them bogies. Here they are called rail cars. I used to work in a rail car company making those big bogies. And Bhagwan is like when train is in station, you can see the individual upholstery in cabins. You can see hawkers selling, hey, chai, 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 idli, idli, vada, sambar, like that. So there is more detail, right? So Bhagwan is what our focus should be, right? It is not Brahman or Paramatma. Yogis go after Brahman. So let me say, who goes after this? These people are called yogis. These people are called Brahmavadis. And these people are called Bhaktas. So we want to be a Bhakta. We want more detail about God. We don't want to just hover around. Oh, what happened? We don't want to hover around general stuff, right? We want to understand God as he is. So there are 3 things. So this is what that Srimad Bhagavatam shloka is saying, right? Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti sabhyate. So the God can be understood in 3 ways. Like I was talking to one Christian, he says, no, God means Jesus. Hey, come on, don't be a fanatic, right? Technically, analytically understand God. And Jesus never said he was God, but the people who follow his line, they have ignored God and they made Jesus himself God. So Brahmeti means God is there everywhere, right? So this is the concept of God everywhere. This is a concept of, anybody know? Anybody? Scholars?
God is in you and me,
In your heart. Be very
in
precise.
your heart.
We're talking
Okay.
about, this is one thing that we need to learn. When you write a program, if you make one mistake, if you ignore one comma, your code will not compile. So we have to be that precise when we talk about God. You get the point? So God is in your heart. Param Atma. Your Atma is in the heart and Param Atma is also in your heart. And then Bhagwan, where is God? God is in dash. What is dash?
Soul.
No. That is Paramatma. God is in his abode, his home.
Word.
Where is it? It is Goloka Vrindavan. Right? So the Christians and the Muslims don't know this. They think Khuda hai Arsh. Khuda is sitting on the throne. But where is the throne? How far is it away? No information, sir. Only the Vedic knowledge. Anyway, Christianity and Islam are also subsets of Vedic. So if you take Vedic knowledge as 100%, Christianity may be 6%, Islam may be like 4%, like that. But if you tell that to a Muslim, he'll cut your head off. So be careful. So this is the thing. We have to understand God through these three different levels. The absolute truth, Param Satyam. Sanskrit, that's why is more precise. Param Satyam is realized in three phases. Teen madhyam ke dwara. Three ways. What are they? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Has anybody told you this information before today's class? Like God can be understood through three ways? No.
No, Prabhu.
No. Because this information is, even in Hinduism, this information is not there. Hinduism has just become a ritual. You go to temple, ring a bell, put $5 in hundi, or in India it is maybe 10 rupees. And you say, God, give me a Mercedes Benz, and then you go home. Right? So, Dalali business. Hinduism has become Dalali business. I'll pray to you, God, you give me some facility. But God is saying, Arey, don't you try to understand me? Please try to understand me. Who am I? I am there in three forms. I am everywhere. I am in your heart. And I am at my own home. Just like you have a home, right? 4-bedroom home in Sammamish or Issaquah or Redmond. So God has his home. And his home is pretty big. It's not a 4-bedroom home. I'll show you a picture of his home. Where is it? Where is it? I have too many documents open. Maybe next time. Oh no, here it is. I think I found it. For some reason, the pictures are not rendering on the screen. Too much memory consumption. Yeah, too many things open at the same time. This is Telugu Bhagavad Gita. Okay, some other day. I'll show it to you.
Will teach in Telugu also, Prabhu?
Yeah, I gave a class this morning in Telugu to North America Telugu Bhagavad Gita conference. People from all over United States, from Dallas, from Philadelphia, New York, everybody joins.
Oh, super, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the thing. I think you're all good students because you all right away pointed out the example of sun disk, sun planet, and sunshine. Okay, continue. Whoever was reading.
The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parasarama Muni, the father of Vyasadeva. The Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached. But no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is the perennial Lord or Bhagavan, known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause of all causes.
Okay, let me page down. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam.
There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan. But Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. In the Bhagavatam, also there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand.
Ete chamsha kalapumshaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge.
All the lists of the incarnations of Godhead submitted herewith are, Prabhuji, can you scroll the page? Prabhuji, scroll the page, please. Are all the lists of the incarnations of Godhead submitted herewith are either plenary expansions or parts of the plenary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, the source of both the Super Soul and the impersonal Brahman. In the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation for his kinsman is certainly unbecoming, and therefore Krishna expresses his surprise with the word Kutha, wherefrom such impurities were never expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who knows the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and they are captivated by the external features of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from Prabhuji, scroll down page, please. Liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Sorry, let me read again. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declining to fight. This act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsmen.
Okay, so lot of good information here. There are two shlokas that are quoted from the Brahma Samhita. So we are already getting into some advanced stuff here. So Brahma Samhita is when Brahma, who is the son of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he gives his realizations in the Brahma Samhita as to who God is. So there are various Samhitas, as I mentioned earlier. There is Garga Samhita, for example. This Lord Brahma is the material engineer for this universe, for our universe. And Krishna, of course, is spiritual engineer for all universes. So in our universe, there is one Brahma. In the neighboring universe, there is one Brahma. So in different universes, there are different Brahmas. So what is this Brahma saying? That Parama Ishvara. Ishvaras means controller. There are so many Ishvaras. Like Shiva is an Ishvara. You're also a mini Ishvara. You are having some control over certain things. But Parama Ishvara is Krishna. Of all the Ishvaras, Parama Ishvara is Krishna. And what is this quality? Sat Chit Ananda. So what is this Sat Chit Ananda? Let's do a deep dive on that one. So Sat means, anybody know what Sat is?
Truth.
Truth. There you go. What is Chit?
Man.
Eternity. Eternity of consciousness. And what is Ananda? Most people should know this.
Bliss.
Yes, there you go. Right? You have various movements based on this Ananda, but they don't really acknowledge God. Right? They only talk in terms of their own personal Ananda. See, this is the true trick about Ananda. If you make God blissful, you're automatically blissful. But if you make yourself blissful, you may or may not be blissful. Example is, when you go to the temple on a particular day and you chant and you fast on Janmashtami or on some important day, you feel very blissful because that is in connection with God. Then let's talk about material bliss. You buy a Tesla car, first 1 year it runs, and after that there is some problem. Your bliss turns into pain, right? So always we should be blissful in connection with the Lord, not blissful independent of the Lord. So that is the secret. So you are also Satchidananda. But then why are you not happy all the time? Right? Any thoughts? Why we are not happy even though we are Satchidananda? So Krishna is Satchidananda. You are also Satchidananda. Instead of being Sat, we are trapped in an Asat body. And instead of being Chit, we are Achit right now in the material world. And instead of being Ananda, we are in a Nirananda body. Why? Because our body has so many problems. Backache, diabetes, blood pressure. You may not have this right now, but as we grow old, something may come, right? We hope that that doesn't come, but there is a chance that one of these diseases will attack us, right? Why? Because we are identifying with the body. So Sat becomes Asat body. I mean, the Sat soul is, I'll take out the meanings. So the Sat soul is trapped in a Asat body. And a Chit, eternity of consciousness, is trapped in the Achit material world. And Ananda, bliss, is trapped in a Nirananda body. You see that? So as long as we have the body, miseries are guaranteed. So liberation means you leave this body and not take a new body, right? We will take a new body if you are not careful, right? Because the soul never dies. And that's going to come in chapter 2. We are going to talk about it extensively. Right? This particular commentary is very solid. So we spend more time, but some of the other things will move very quickly. So in the Bhagavatam, there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality. Right? Incarnation means what in Sanskrit? What is incarnation?
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah. It's not like the movie Avatar, Hollywood movie. There they show weird people with weird hands and legs, purple colored bodies. That's not Avatar. Avatar means, what is the meaning of Avatar?
Descending of God.
Yeah, very good. Very good. You already know something. Descend. But what is tar? When after he descends, what does he do? Moves around humans. Right? Taran. Ava means descend. Taran means moving around humans. So avataran means the Lord descends. So what does this particular verse say? Very important verse. There are many lists of incarnations. So can somebody give me a list of incarnations?
Matsya, Kurma.
Yeah. So what is the
Varaha.
category of those? What is the category of Matsya Kurma? They are called Leela avatars.
Okay.
Means single function. What did Matsya avatar do? He takes the boat.
Saved the world from flood.
Yeah, not the whole world though. He will let all the sinful people sink. Matsya
Yeah.
actually takes a boat with Manu and selected pious people. The other people were allowed to sink like that, single function. So Matsya Avatara drags the boat with Manu and selected pious people, right? Now, what is the other category of avatar? Anybody know? Yeah, Sejal is saying animal. Yeah, there are various forms of animal avatars also, like Kurma avatara, for example. Okay, the other type of avatara is called Guna avatara. Guna avatara means for mode of goodness. Who is the Guna avatara for mode of goodness?
Lord Rama.
Lord Vishnu.
Okay.
Excellent. Passion. Who is the avatara for passion?
Brahma.
Brahma. Why Brahma? Why not Shiva?
Shiva is Tamogun.
Tamogun. Very good point. So, Lord Shiva. It's not like Shiva is in Tamogun. Shiva is the Adipati or the boss of Tamogun. You see the point? Yeah, so Sejal is saying Manvantara Avataras. Excellent, Sejal. So, Shiva himself is not in ignorance, but he's the boss of ignorance. Just like, for example, the governor of state of Washington will go to a jail. Is he a criminal because he's going to jail and visiting the people in the jail? No, right? Same thing. So Shiva is the Adipati of ignorance, Tamogun, but he's not in Tamogun. Okay. Manvantara Avataras. So how many Manus are there in one day of Brahma? So Brahma lives for 3.4 trillion years, earthly years. And in that 14 Manus come and they pass away. They die. So in which Manu are we in right now? Which Manvantara? Who is the boss for us, Manu?
Vaisavasta.
Huh?
Vaisavasta, I think.
No. Vaivatsa.
Vaivatsa.
Vaivatsa. Vaivatsa Manu. Who is the first Manu? First Manu is Swayambhu Manu. Again, all this information is there. If you just go to any search engine and put in Manus, right? Manus in day of Brahma. In Wikipedia, there is a very nice article. Of course, Manus there is in the harekrishna.com. But Wikipedia has Hindu units of time. So how many Manus are there is all given, right? And what is a Manvantara? There is enough knowledge now online, but we have to be careful. Sometimes people misrepresent it also. So this is the life cycle of Manus, right? So you see Brahma's lifespan is 311 trillion years. Out of that, one day of Brahma is called a kalpa. And from one day of, from in Kalpa, there are 1000 Chatur Yuga cycles. One Chatur Yuga is Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. This is advanced stuff, but hopefully you're all like bachelor's degree holders, so you can pick it up fairly quickly. And then in one Chatur Yuga time frame, there is 72 Chatur Yugas are assigned to one Manvantara. And out of which one Chatur Yuga is Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So this information is not new. This has been there since time began. Time has a starting point when the Lord decided time should happen like that. By the way, this term Hindu mythology is wrong. Mythology is the word invented by the British. Myth means something which is false. Ology means science. So mythology means science of myths. This is a very wrong term. What you should say history. Vedic history, not mythology. You get the point? So you should never use the term mythology. Because the British were very smart. They invented two terms, Hindu and mythology. The word Hindu also is not there in any Vedic text. We are not Hindus, we are Vedic people. Right? Very, very important point to note. We are not Hindus, we are Vedic people. Technically, the entire world is Vedic, but they are not following that. They have invented their own religions. But life of Brahma is divided into multiple kalpas, multiple manvantaras, multiple divya yugas. So for each manvantara, there is a manvantara boss, and his name is Manu. Swayambhuva Manu was the first, and this is all there in Wikipedia, so you can review at your leisure. So there are many kinds of incarnations that we need to follow, right, or analyze. What is the other kind of avatara? Anybody else can say? It's called Shakta Avesha Avatara. Avesh means energy. Shakti-avesh means some individual is given this energy to propagate God consciousness. So for example, Swami Prabhupada is a Shakti-avesh avatar. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is a Shakti-avesh avatar. He is his grand guru, Prabhupada's guru's guru. Right? Technically, you could even say Jesus is the Shakti-avesh avatar because he has been given some energy to propagate that like that. Somebody has a chat here. Yeah, Nagaraju dropping off for another class, okay. So does everybody have conflicts after this time? We can continue next week if you want to, or keep going. Okay, keep going. So there are various people who are given some small potency of the Lord to propagate God consciousness. Those are called Shakti-avesh avatars. Then there is something called Yuga avatar. Right? For Kali Yuga, we have two Yuga avatars. One is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Kalki is coming at end of this Yuga, as you know. Kalki will come and kill at the speed of thought because people would have become very sinful at end of Kali Yuga. So his duty is to kill everybody. Fat, fat, fat. So there are various kinds of avatars. Then there is one more type of avatara where the Lord divides into Karano, Dakasai, Maha Vishnu, Garbho, Dakasai, Mahavishnu, and Kshiro, Dakasai, Vishnu. This is not Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, that's it. Karnodakshaya Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Mahavishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. The general category for this is called Purusha Avatars. It's a lot, huh? Any questions on that one?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I have a question. So, we have always heard that Krishna, Lord Krishna is avatar of Vishnu. Or is it the other way?
It is
Like
the other
Vishnu is
way.
the avatar.
Yeah. So what happens is, that is exactly what Swami Prabhupada was saying in this verse. Ete chamsha kalaha pumshaha means cha amsha. Amsha means part, right? So this is a sandhi of two words, cha amsha. It's read as cha amsha. So everybody is a part. Kala means part, right? For example, Krishna is 100%, Lord, Rama is like something like 94%, Lord Shiva is 84%, you and I are 64% of God. There is a calculation given in an advanced textbook called Chaitanya Charitamrita. You and I are also mini servants of God. We are not gods. We are part of God. A part is never the whole. For example, if you are driving a Toyota Camry and one nut falls off, and because that nut falls off, the brakes won't slam when you're on the highway and the car may go out of control. So the part is important for the whole, but the part is not the whole. You cannot take a small bolt which costs 25 cents and say this is Toyota Camry. No. So we are all parts of God. So Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Swayam means on his own. He is the Bhagavan. Everybody else is a Kalaha. Kalaha means part. Right? So the term that Prabhupada uses, plenary. Plenary means partial expansions. So Rama is a partial expansion of Krishna, the original Goloka Krishna. But when the Gokula Krishna comes, the Krishna that we talk about, Mother Yashoda looking into his mouth, he's also not the full Krishna. He's a part of the Krishna. More likely he's like 99% of Krishna. The original Krishna never leaves the spiritual world. Never, never. Because we are just one corner of the material world, small portion of the overall creation. So he doesn't care about us that much. But he sends his kalaha, means portions, to this material world to give us knowledge from time to time. So somebody in chat, how to interpret Purna mantra in terms of part and parcel? Like the Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnam Purnamuchyate Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. So this is called transcendental mathematics. Just because Lord Ram came from Goloka Krishna, one in material world, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 and 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. This Purnam mantra from Isopanishad says that 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 and 1 minus 1 is also equal to 1. So very difficult for us to comprehend from a materialistic perspective. So when you have $100 in your pocket and you give your brother $40, how much is left in your pocket now? 60, right? But when Krishna takes avatars, he's still there in the spiritual world, right? That's it. He still speaks he never leaves the spiritual world. He's still there, but his parts come as various avatars. And there is a string of avatars actually. It is not one or two. Thousands of avatars kept coming since the beginning of time. Because we are in one snapshot of the window where we are in Kali Yuga, and we are in the particular year of Kali Yuga. We are in 5040th year of Kali Yuga. So we only know what happened 5000 years ago when Lord Krishna descended. Again, only Gokula Krishna came. Goloka Krishna still resides in the spiritual world. So very, very intense topic, this one. You have to think through very carefully. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam, but his parts are coming. You and I are also parts of Krishna. But according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, about 64% of Krishna. So we cannot create a universe. Maybe you can write a Java program. That's about it. That's the extension of your creation, or a C# program. But the Lord can create universes, not one. Multiple universes are created by the Lord. That is the difference, right? So this is a very intense purport. Sorry, you are getting a heavy overdose of philosophy today in one shot, but that's what it is. Okay, so any questions?
Well, Prabhuji, here the question I have is like the 4 lines of the Shloka 2 was talking about Arjuna behaving like a Sudra and not as a Kshatriya. Is that correct? And then
Arjuna is
most
Anarya.
of, yeah,
You are correct partially. He is behaving not like a Shudra, but like a non-Arya. Arya means,
non-Aryan.
yeah,
Okay.
if
Who
you ask,
knows the value of life? Is that
right, who knows the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. This is not like the Aryans of Hitler. They were
Aryans?
still
Yeah.
behaving on a material platform, killing all the Jews. But if you are thinking on the spiritual platform, then you are an Arya, right?
Mhm.
People who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans.
Okay.
So that's the point.
So the more of the resemblance to either Bhagavatam or different texts we were talking, was this like proving the initiation of Sri Bhagavan Vacha, like Krishna being the Lord? I'm just trying to relate why there is so much of purport, emphasizing more of Krishna being the Godhead versus the 4 lines after Bhagavan Vacha.
Yeah. Why? Because unless you have a clear understanding of who Bhagwan is, you'll get confused. Like, for example, Sai Baba used to also call himself Bhagwan, right? Puttavati Baba in Andhra, right? So people will get confused. So many people, like Meher Baba in Maharashtra, used to consider himself Bhagwan. So those people are not Bhagwan, they are just gurus. We have to understand the meaning of Bhagwan. Bhagwan means the 6 opulences that were mentioned here. Remember? We talked about 6 opulences. I'll show you where it is. Yeah. There are many people who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, very much detached. Parasara Muni says that these are the 6 qualities of Bhagwan, right? And
I think it is in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita.
it is there in many places.
Yeah.
Throughout
Okay.
Bhagavad Gita, the emphasis is there on who is Bhagwan, right? For example, Bill Gates is very rich, but he's not very beautiful. Have you seen his picture recently? All wrinkles on his face. So very rich doesn't mean you are very beautiful, very powerful. Some people are very powerful like Hitler, but is he very learned? No. Is he very detached? No. Right? Ultimately commits suicide. So there is one story. George Bernard Shaw, who is a famous philosopher, goes to a movie actress. No, actually, the movie actress goes to George Bernard Shaw and says, "Let's get married." So Bernard Shaw says, "Why do you want to get married?" He says, "I am very beautiful. You are very intelligent. Our kids will be very smart." And you know what Bernard Shaw said? What if it turns out to be opposite? If they get your smarts and my beauty. So the movie heroine wasn't very intelligent and Bernard Shaw wasn't very beautiful. So that's a joke, but it shows the point that you cannot have everything. Bhagwan means you have everything. So Krishna, even after 5,000 years, we are reading his book. He is very learned, very famous. Krishna is very beautiful. Everybody wants to take a picture of Krishna, right? Even till day. He's very rich. How is he very rich? He owns the whole universes. How is he very powerful? As a small boy, 4 years old, he lifted the Govardhan Parvat with his left pinky finger. Pinky finger is very weak finger in the entire body. Right? He lifts a Govardhan Parvat, 26 kilometers in circumference, with his little pinky finger. So that is why Bhagwan is very special. Anybody else who claims to be Bhagwan, they should they should be chastised because they're not speaking the truth. So that is why Swami Prabhupada is making so much emphasis on this word, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Just wanted to confirm. Yeah, thank you.
That's good. So we didn't go very far. We only went till verse 2, but that was a great discussion because it's kind of fundamental to a lot of things that we discussed today and we will discuss in the future. Okay, so now some time for chanting. Everybody up for chanting?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the Mahamantra. If I put in Bing Mahamantra, what comes? Of course, Krishna comes, right? So finally being caught up to culture, right? So what is the Mahamantra? This is the Mahamantra, right? From Kalisantarna Upanishad. So let's all chant. First, before the Mahamantra, we chant a Panchatattva mantra. So what is the Panchatattva mantra? Anybody know? It is the 5 people who gave us this Mahamantra, right? So let's go and look for Panchatattva mantra. So first the Panchatattva mantra, where you are propitiating these top-notch folks to give us mercy so that we are becoming qualified to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Okay, so everybody repeat after me. Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda,
Nityananda,
Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri
Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara,
Gadadhara,
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri
Sri
Vasadi
Vasadi
Gaura
Gaura
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda.
Vrinda.
Now let's chant together. Hare Krishna. No, actually, this is the opposite because traditional Hindus believe that Rama came first, therefore Rama should be first. But according to the Kalisantarna Upanishad, it is Krishna first. So we should say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Now, without stopping, we will chant for 108 names. Okay, let's start now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hari Hare,